Less is more. Some of you will get a lot more of what you want by pulling back, by saying less, by doing less, by just observing. All of us who are here, we've dealt with many different types of people. I'm pretty sure that most of you who are watching, if you haven't personally dealt with a narcissist, you're probably at least very well aware of what narcissists are, how they represent, or maybe you know somebody who has had a significant interaction with a narcissist. When we're in different relationships, even when we're getting to meet people, or we're getting to know each other, or we're getting to know people, most people have some form of mask. Okay, when you meet a person, you're usually meeting that person's representative. So you're meeting people on their best behavior, especially if it is somebody who's wanting to give you a good impression, or likewise. In this time, especially as children of God, we have to be a lot wiser. The scripture tells us we're sent out as lamb amongst wolves in sheep's clothing. Therefore, be wise as a serpent, yet innocent as a dove. There are going to be a lot of new relationships, a lot of new partnerships forming. A lot of us are coming into contact with our actual soul family, with our actual soul tribe members. We have to be aware that even as the real ones are going to be being sent our way, there are also going to be counterfeits. There are always going to be snakes that try to swivel in the way. Some of us already have people in our lives who show up in the form of snake, who show up in a way that is easily used by opposition against the plan, against the purpose of God in areas of our life. One thing that I highly suggest, take your time to start listening. Also realize that you don't always have to assert yourself. You don't always have to win, quote unquote, because some people communicate and their only form of understanding of communication is either they won or they lost. Some people don't communicate with the intention of coming to a conclusion, with the intent of coming together on a matter, but some people communicate just with the sole emphasis of being right, or the sole emphasis of whatever it might be on their mind. When you are the type of person who it doesn't matter, you don't have to be right, you don't have to assert yourself, and you don't have to be understood. If you put yourself in that position, you'll see that so much is revealed to you, and it's so peaceful. Even when I think about times in my life, I have definitely dealt with narcissistic character or two in a very intimate degree. And one thing, even when we talk about, let's say for instance, narcissists, because I know a lot of people have narcissists or speculate whether they have a narcissist in their life. Even if we're talking about narcissists or things of that nature, one thing that you'll realize with people who are narcissistic, or at least have narcissistic traits, is that everything has to be a right or a wrong thing. It has to be you're right, I'm right, you're wrong. Even if you start practicing, if you have a person like this in your life, start practicing not needing to assert yourself in terms of, we're not talking about boundaries. We should always assert our boundaries. We put our boundaries there, and then when people bypass them, then we let them know this is the consequences of obstructing my boundaries. So I'm not talking about not having boundaries, but I'm talking about more so in the sense of, why do you care what they think that you have to debate or even explain yourself? This is one thing that I've been embracing, especially in this time of my life, is like, everything just doesn't need to be said. There's so often that I may be on a conversation or on a phone call with a person, and maybe they say something in it, and I'm like, oh, me too, I just went through that, or that happened to me, and I don't even feel the desire to have to say that. I don't feel the desire to have to explain anything. It's just very peaceful. One thing that you're going to realize is, first and foremost, people who actually have an interest or a desire in what you have to say, you'll see that they naturally pull that out. They naturally inquire. A lot of times we're out here explaining ourselves and exerting ourselves to people and doing all of these things to people who couldn't even care less of what's coming out of our mouth. A lot of times you spend your time doing this to people who, when you're talking, they're already thinking of what is their response. Allow people to just reveal themselves to you. Allow yourself to be the one with all the cards. Switch it up. If you're anything like me, I've always been a person my whole life who I was just always a very open book. Y'all know how they say real recognize real? My real ones already know what time it is. That's why y'all over here, and that's why y'all been subscribed to Pretty Boss TV. For those of you who've been subscribed, we kept it a buck since a buck. That's what we do. That's the essence of me. But even as somebody who, I've always been somebody who I'm like, look, I'm real. I put myself out there. I'm an open book. What you see is what you get. Either you like it or you don't. I still feel that way. It's just I'm to a point to where I've also grown in wisdom and understand that everything doesn't need to be said. Everybody doesn't need to know everything. Reveal what needs to be revealed. Say what needs to be said. Nothing more, nothing less. People need to earn these things. A lot of times we spend time talking and asserting ourselves and explaining ourselves to people who could even care less. Sometimes we set ourselves trying to come to conclusion with people that that's not even what they want from you. That's not what they want. They're not looking for understanding, so stop wasting your time. Save your breath for the people that it actually matters to have those conversations with. For anybody watching this video, I challenge you to do something today. Depending if you're watching this early, I challenge you to do this today. And if you're watching this later in the day and even at night, I challenge you to do this tomorrow. When you are talking and you're dealing with people, whether it be strangers, whether it be people that you regularly communicate with, just listen. Don't feel a need to interject. Don't feel a need to explain yourself for whatever reason. Even if they misunderstand you, that's on them. Let me say something about that. People who are bent on misunderstanding you, they're bent on misunderstanding you. I had to learn this the hard way and the long way, but I realized that there are some people who you'll try to explain yourself to and they don't want to understand. They don't want none of that. They want to see you the way that they have chosen to see you. They want to perceive you the way that they've chosen to perceive you. So let them. If we're talking in terms of business and you need to stand up and protect your brand so that your customers have the knowledge they need, this is a completely different discussion. But we're not talking about business at this moment. For some of you that might have a business, then that might be just a message to where we're not talking about that. When you need to lay down the line, when you need to clear things up that could affect your customer base who needs that knowledge, make sure you do that. But this conversation is about those personal things. It doesn't matter. People who are bent on misunderstanding you, they're going to misunderstand you and flip your words and paint however they want to paint you anyway. Let's say you have somebody in your family. Let's say you have a narcissist and they triangulate. Anybody who's familiar with narcissism, y'all should also be aware with triangulation, which is the narcissist. The thing about them is they have a deep-seated fear and instability within themselves. Their way to keep themselves secure is to control everything and everyone around them, even through forms of extreme manipulation. Typically, if you have a true narcissist, the people in that narcissist's lives, they are also connected to each other. The narcissist is going to selectively tell different parties different things so that the narcissist has all of the pebbles in the bag, but now everybody's just mixed with different pieces, and the narcissist could use the pebbles to paint whatever picture about whoever they want to paint that picture about selectively when the time permits. If they want to paint a positive picture of you to someone, they'll let them know these things. If they want to paint a negative picture, they'll let them know these things. And a narcissist typically does this and keeps everybody around them in this kind of a spider web where they're the ones at the center with all the knowledge of all, but everybody else is mixed with bits and pieces and misunderstanding. I said that to say, even if you're dealing with a situation where, let's say, you know you have a narcissist in your life and this person lies on you, this person talks about you to your family members, to these people, this is what I say. If anybody, even outside of the context, if anybody says something about you to another person and that other person wholeheartedly believes what that person said without coming to you, that person is a fool anyway. Why would you want to be affiliated with them? If you have relationships with different people and then A tells B this about you and B decides to believe it and run with it, B might not have been for you for real anyway. If B knows you, they would at least have the heart and be like, hold on, let me see what they have to say about it. I feel you, A, but let me talk to them. Maybe we could all talk on the phone and then see what really happened here. But if somebody goes and tells something about you to somebody else and that person decides to run with that, leave both of them idiots where they stand. None of their opinions matter. If somebody wants to hear something about you and make whole life decisions and they didn't even come to the other source of the matter, that's a fool. We don't want them type of people in our life. We want knowledgeable, educated, beloved children of the Lord in our lives. We don't want that mess anyway. No matter what way you slice or scratch it, often it's not even worth it to explain yourself or have to express or put yourself out there in certain ways to people, especially those who are bent on misunderstanding you in the first place. We're seeing in 2024, everything eventually comes out to light. A person who was for you, they will always be for you. A person who's truly for you, they're not going to jump on the first negative news they hear about you and hop on a different wave. Them type of people never was for you. They was waiting on the first excuse. Allow yourself to detach from, again, caring what other people have to think, caring what other people have to say. Today, I challenge you to not feel the need to exert or explain yourself to anyone. Not even to agree. Even if you agree, oh yes, I totally agree. Don't even agree. Just let people talk. Let people be themselves. Let people reveal themselves, because it's going to expose a lot of different things to you. For some of you who have narcissism narcissist in your life, you're going to start seeing that when you deal with narcissists in this way, you're going to start seeing a different side come out of them. Because one, they're going to already have a perception, a greater awareness, like, wait, this person sees through me because none of my tactics work. I can't move this person to the left nor to the right. They're unbothered about anything I got to say, good or bad. And then with other people who it may not be something like that, just allow people to reveal themselves to you. Think about all the friends that you've had, or acquaintances, or people that you work with, or business partners, or people that you hired, or romantic people. Think about the beginning of those relationships. They were great talking, great agreement. Everything was ha ha he he. Everything was good until the real comes out. A lot of times you can prevent yourself from getting in crazy scenarios by, again, just stepping back and letting people say what they gotta say, letting people be themselves. Don't train people in the way that they shall go in communication. Just let people be. And then when things come from you, let it be things that you really feel led to share. Let it be things that you really feel led to say without feeling the need to just say something just to say it, or just to fill space, or because you're compelled to. One of the most confident things that you can do is be quiet. Even when you're meeting people, some people, what do they call it? Small talk. I'm not a small talker. I can do that, but I don't like small talk. I feel like small talk, I don't know, it just rubs me. What's wrong with silence? If we have nothing to talk about, nothing in common, we're not feeling the vibe, why can't we not just be silent? Try to practice in your life, even if it's just for a day, not asserting yourself, not needing to be right. Even if somebody misunderstands you, just letting it be. If somebody puts out a fact and you know that that's not the fact, not arguing it, not debating opinions, it really doesn't matter. Protect your energy at all costs. One thing that you're going to see is when you start to practice this, a power will rev up in you that you would not want to relinquish, and you would never ever care again to express or explain yourself to anyone, and especially those who are unworthy of it. If you would like to book personal guidance with me, you can book on prettybossTV.com. Also, for those of y'all who are viewing, yes, we have an event coming up, family. November 2nd, we will be in the building, Atlanta, Georgia. Where my ATLians at? Where my people who nearby Atlanta at? Where those of you who, it don't matter where you at in the world, you could pull up when you pull up at. Pop the Balloon meet and greet. We're doing a matchmaking event. I will be hosting it. And for the Pop the Balloon portion part, if you are on Pretty Boss TV and you would like, you never know, baby boo could be right below your comment. So if you would like to be in the Pop the Balloon matchmaking portion of the event, you can also fill out the form that's available on prettybossTV.com so that you can be a contestant. It's going to be really fun. That portion is only going to take maybe about a couple of hours to record, but the rest of the event, we're just going to be vibing. Music, drinks, food, refreshments, snacks, everything all inclusive. My Patreons have been known about this. They've been got access. Early bird tickets been sold out on Patreon, but we on here on YouTube with it now. So the seats are limited. Make sure that you RSVP, because there are certain things. I already had certain seatings and certain tickets available at certain quantities because I knew how I was going to go ahead and present the meet and greet. So if you want to RSVP, make sure that you do so before the tickets are sold out, because I won't be extending or making extra room for people that aren't able to RSVP on time. I want it to be a comfortable event where there's seating for everybody, where everybody has comfortable, a breathing room and moving room. Also, there will be an after party for those who gets the VIP RSVP, where we're just going to be hanging out a little bit afterwards. Again, if you want further details on what's included in the event, you can check it out below. We're turning up, we're coming together as a family as we close out this wonderful year 2024. So let's do that Pretty Boss TV style on November 2nd. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. Also, if you are ready to really level up your life, if you refuse to go into 2025 feeling like, what am I missing? Why do I keep falling short? No worries. You don't have to fall short, not even one more again. Excuse my language, not even one more time. 30 Days to Success is available on prettybossTV.academy. This is the blueprint that will change your life. 30 Days to Success is the formula. 30 Days to Success is the blueprint that the Most High has given me, that has not only changed my life and several others, but can and will also change your life if you stick to it for 30 consecutive days. It's a game changer. You'll see yourself moving, thinking, and feeling in ways that you have not previously, and finally being able to gather that momentum that propels you in the direction of success that you've been desiring over any aspect of your life that you desire to achieve it. 30 Days to Success is available on prettybossTV.academy. Make sure that you get it for the discount price before it goes on that official. I did have it closed enrollment, but enrollment is now open, so make sure that you take advantage of that. And also join us on Patreon if you would like to be part of our membership community where you get access to everything firsthand, even when we're not on YouTube family, we're always moving on Patreon. We've really been building over there. So if you would like to build with the community of like-minded and light-hearted people as well, come join us over there. At least check it out. You might see that might be exactly what you've been looking for. All of my links are in the description below. And don't forget to visit pdexclusive.com, the official sponsor of Pretty Boss TV, where you can get that pretty, classy, sexy, and sophisticated bossed up wear and accessories for pretty bosses only. I love y'all. I talk to y'all soon. Y'all willing? Peace.